I was a little worried there for a second as she was changing topics as to what I was following. I feel better now, though. Thanks. Speaking of which, who's heard the platitude of a door closes and another door opens? You notice that the door opening is not like the airlines. You are free to take all of the luggage and baggage you would like to take through that door. Full. And I know this because in 1992, I had a door slam in front of me, literally and figuratively slam. And that shook me up. And then the door opened that brought me and my family to Seattle early in 92. And I brought everything, figuratively. I mean, the truck was surprised that I didn't know they could put that much stuff. I brought it all. But the good part about this change, this career change, this job change, was my travel schedule shifted. So I got to actually begin to take courses at the Center for Spiritual Living. I'd been in Science of Mind, but couldn't take courses. And so I started with Science of Mind 1. And who knows what happens when you take a course at Center for Spiritual Living? Things get just messed up. I mean, the classes just work you over. Everything you thought you believed, you find out may not be true. And that happened to me because I had brought a trunk full of beliefs around money. And the evidence I had of that was that I was over my head in debt. I was living check to check. There was just no joy around any of my finances. But the beauty was that in taking that Science of Mind 1 class, I began to realize that that wasn't a requirement for me, that I could finally stand up and say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live this way. And in doing that, it meant I had to really understand what I believed about money. And I found a place where I could really learn, and that was in my giving. I was, even living like that, I was still giving to CSL. But I was giving out of lack, I was giving out of fear, I was giving out of guilt and sacrifice. All wonderful traits in my religious teachings growing up, but not really working for me. And so the beauty of that realization and seeing the spiritual principle of giving, I was able to simply say, no more. And I stopped. I stopped giving. I stopped giving so that I could understand what I wanted to give. And when I did that, I found that I wanted to give from gratitude. I wanted to give from being in the flow, the circulation of good. And I wanted to give in a way that I could find joy. And an interesting thing for me, as I look back on, I had to give with absolutely no expectation of anything coming back. I could not give while I was thinking that there was going to be some kind of reward. I had to fully let go of all of that so I could be present in my giving. And I started then where I was, and I found a joy and a gratitude when I gave this way. It shifted my relationship to money, which ended up shifting my relationship to work and to whole other things. It was a journey that is still continuing. And so what I know today to share with you is, one, spiritual principles really do work. Bless you. And they work a lot better when you're the one working them. They will work whether you work them or not, but they work a lot better when you work with them. And the other really deep truth that I've learned over these years is this journey that I had with money was so much different because of the community that we are. To be in a workshop or a class and be able to honestly say where I am in my journey with whatever's up, and to simply be held by the group, by the class, was so powerful. To sit across from a practitioner and to be able to speak what I believed and have someone hear me so deeply is life-changing for me. And so spiritual principles and this community are so very powerful in my life, especially this community. And we'll do it again. In a few weeks, we're all going to be asked to share our financial abundance with this community. And what I know for myself is that I will be sharing and continuing to share because this community is so important to me. What I know is that as we come together, as we just sang, that when we stand together, good stuff happens. We are making a difference for good, individually and as a group. And then that good goes beyond these four walls. So I invite you to join me in a few weeks, to give with joy, to give with gratitude, to give with love, because this community is why I'm standing here. I would not be here otherwise. Thank you so much for your listening. Thank you.